Cheers. Welcome to the new studio, Tabby Hour Podcast.
We got bricks.
We have bricks.
The good kind of bricks. Legal bricks.
Yeah. Fully legal bricks.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome to Tabby. Welcome to new Tabby. This is a new, exciting, same old Tabby.
It's a lot more chill.
Just different.
I think it's going to be nice to not have to break it down every time. Because like we were shooting a podcast in the middle of a functional office. So like podcast,
Yeah, now there's a whole studio.
Podcast studio by night. And it was office during the day. But now we have the extra space to dedicated podcast studio.
And this is the third, right? Third studio?
This is the third spot, yeah.
Yeah.
We're in the same building that we were in last month.
Yeah.
You're the new co-host.
New co-host. Hello, everybody. I'm Cuzzin.
And so...
If you don't know me already, now you do.
Everybody knows Cuzzin. Everybody knows you in Greenville. Or they know Magnetic South.
They know Magnetic South.
Yeah. But you're the guy behind Magnetic South.
I'm one of the four, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's good to be here. It's good to have a podcast. You know, we're going to deep dive into our business lives, maybe our personal lives. We're going to bring in some exciting guests this year to dive into their businesses, maybe their personal lives too. We might even take the show on a road. We got some fun ideas for some good content that should just make everyone laugh. I mean, maybe we can get a jet ski.
I'm down to do a jet ski.
Waterproof cameras.
Yeah.
Some gas station food eating things.
Yeah. The air conditioner just came on.
Is it picking it up?
We'll see if it's loud. I don't know.
I don't know. It feels good though, because this is the best seat because the vent's right there and it's blowing on me. It feels terrific.
It's just one of those things. We're going to leave this in. I mean, I think that if this is part of it. We'll figure it out. Yeah. Who cares? That doesn't even.
Don't even. She was helping.
Should we turn off the air conditioner?
No, do not. We're not cutting this out either. If this gets cut out, I'm going to be mad. Here, flick it off. Let's just try it. Hey, everyone, we're experimenting. We're in a new studio. So you're going to bear with me.
We're going to edit all this.
We are not editing this out. It doesn't make a difference. Flip it back on. It's the slightest, but no. You can see it in the curtain, but that's about it.
Turn it off. Yeah, that's better.
Okay, Mr. Sassy Pants.
It's not better. This better not get cut. This is all great.
That's fine. Yeah.
But yeah, so we got air conditioning that we're not turning off.
The fan on too.
Yeah, if not, I'm gonna have a little fan over here. It's gonna make a lot of noise.
Yeah.
If you don't know me, I like to sleep with a fan. I travel with it wherever I go.
Do you really?
Oh, so
that's an interesting. We can go down.
I carry that rolly suitcase. You know that you can put in the overhead bin because generally, if I'm traveling, you know, you can definitely take a one bag. If Jenny and I are going together, we'll take either two smaller bags or one big one. I just try not to check stuff.
Yeah.
But I also don't want anything under the feet in front of me because I'm a big guy. You know, I want to be able to stretch my feet out. But yeah, so I pack a fan. I have one of those Honeywell like turbo fans. That's like, you know, this big. And I found how to pack. I can pack 7 days of clothes, a pillow, and a fan in my suitcase. And that's what I have to
take
travel
care of
with.
the pillow too.
Yeah, so I have a pillow. It's called the Pillow Cube, which we're not sponsored by them yet. I have the big one at the house, and Jenny got me a travel size one.
And you love it?
I love it. Because then it's like a piece of home, like to come with. Yeah, sleep is important to me. I'm very routine with sleep. Like things have to be the same no matter where I am. So that's a box fan on the bedside and my pillow.
I've started to get a lot more organized with stuff like that. I think that's part of the longer you're in your 30s, the more you like optimize your life. Like I try to go to bed by 9:30. It's very much a routine of like extra water, no matter how much you've drank.
Oh yeah,
melatonin
32-ounce
gummies.
cup of water next to the bed, because that one time you wake up at 3 a.m. needing a water and it's not there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're now up.
Melatonin gummies. The fan has to be just right. The light, like blackout curtains.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to be.
If I'm not
21,
out
you
of the
can sleep
shower by
anywhere.
8:30, my whole nightly routine is off.
So how is that? I mean, you're running I guess you guys close fairly early. You're not running like a late night 2 a.m. bar.
No, and generally, like, we close our Greenville spot closes at 11 2 days a week, but most of the time it's 10 p.m. So, God forbid, most problems happen before 9 o'clock. I mean, knock on wood.
Yeah.
But I'm I would say more the maintenance guy, right? Like, we have operations person who handles anything operational wise, and if something operational happened, he would get the first phone call. I would get the second phone call. So
They're calling you if something's broken.
yeah. So like one of our pizza ovens acting up right now, and I honestly just don't have time to mess with it. So it's like, call somebody.
Have you always been super technical with stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned a lot of that at my time at Thomas Creek. Tom was definitely that gruff, hey, you're a man, you should fix stuff. And even growing up, I kind of had that, like I wanted to tinker and fix things, but more times I broke things rather than fixing, take apart a computer, but you don't know how to put it back together. And so I think that excelled into like something breaks at the house, I can pretty much fix it. Build a deck, do whatever. I enjoy stuff like that. I've built a lot of the furniture at the brewery. We should build a table for in here.
Absolutely.
It'd be easy. And if you're not handy, it can be your first project.
I mean, I've grew up with a dad in construction and a grandfather that does. It's one of those like, I can just buy one. It's a time thing. But I accept the project to build a table with you.
No,
Yes.
and I get the time thing. For me, it's a money thing. So
How much is your time worth?
right now,
Yeah.
free.
No, it's not.
Well, it is for me. Like, so
Nobody's time is free.
I don't value my time like that, and I don't. It's just not there yet. So I've built a lot of the stuff for the brewery, a lot of our furniture. I don't build chairs, but tables are pretty easy. And I've probably got like 5 hours into each table, right? But the table, like, I just price up material because my labor, I don't really count it yet. I'm not there. Because
So-
I enjoy doing that kind of stuff
so-
too, right? It allows me to like, I just built 5 new tables at our Greenville spot. And it was like, you know what? I'm going to make my life easier. I'm going to go buy a nail gun.
Let's peel this back 2 layers.
And I bought a nail gun. So you know who paid for the nail gun? The brewery paid for the nail gun to make my life easier. So now that nail gun's my payment for building the,
So it's definitely a balance as a business owner. And that you have to have both. You have to have the ability to fix your own stuff. You have to have the ability to, you can't spend tons of money on everything. But you have to find the balance point. So when you're calculating your value, I could calculate your value quickly. If you how long does it take you to make a
let's just say a 6-person table. It takes me.
No, I'm going a different direction.
Oh, okay.
How long does it take? How do you measure the size of a batch of beer?
Oh, so we do it in barrels. So 310 gallons or 10 barrels.
Okay. How long does it take you to brew 10 barrels?
So the brew day alone takes 6 to 7 hours.
Okay. What is the total value of that many beers after they're sold in glasses?
Math. So it's 310 gallons There's 128 ounces in a gallon, so just round that up to 40,000 ounces.
How many beers is that?
Divide that by, we'll say 20-ounce beers. So that's 2,000.
2,000 beers at...
I mean, the average craft beer right now is $6 to $8. So just say $7.
$7.
So that's 14,000.
$14,000.
Yep.
Divide 14,000 by 7 hours.
Well, so it's only 7 hours to brew the beer. Then you have time checking the fermentation values.
Call it 24 hours.
Then you have time. Nah, so I would say it's probably 12. Just call it 14 hours. It's
14 hours.
$1,000 an hour.
Your time is worth $1,000 an hour.
Mimi, don't listen to this podcast.
No, I mean that's not what somebody's going to get paid in the industry. But like, how do you value your time? And I think that's and we just went,
Well, let's reverse it. Is it the same in tech?
yeah, 100%.
How many hours do you have building an app?
100%. It is.
No. We went down my route. How many hours? Like, so say you're going to build a Snake IO or some kind of game app.
So everything starts with like the feature product roadmap. So you build the product roadmap and then you break that down into like feature sets.
Okay.
And you take the team and you do everything in sprints. Most companies operate in 2-week sprints.
And what's a sprint? That's like
A sprint is just 2 weeks.
Yeah,
Take
but
2 weeks.
what are you doing in this sprint?
So in this sprint, that's what you sit down and you define and you say, okay, we're going to build this feature. We're going to build the ability for a user to know how many people are at a venue and to be able to engage with those people at that venue. That's a section of this. And we decide, is that going to take 2 sprints, which is a full month, or 4 sprints?
So a sprint is you working on one section of any particular app.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, user profile, let's knock this out.
Yeah, it's broken down in sprints. And then you start to, like, there's so many different kinds of engineers. It's like doctors.
I guess you can't compare brewing to app building.
Well, you can. You can compare business in a lot of ways, but it's almost like think of it like a doctor. Like, you're not going to go to the foot doctor if your heart hurts, or if your heart's, like you're not going to. You're not going to. You're not going to go to the dermatologist to get your teeth fixed. They're all doctors, but so is the server broken? How many hours is that specific task going to take? And a lot of those. Engineering is easily worth $200 an hour, $150 to $200 an hour.
And the engineering, it's just people building whatever sprint you're on.
Yeah. But then there's a lot of tasks within it that are very repetitive, which is why you have junior engineers. They're like the interns, like paralegals in a sense, I guess you could compare, to where they are like, is it worth the senior engineer's time at this rate, or is it worth just having the junior knock that out?
So you have to have, and I'm not saying there's not a lot of planning in beer production.
Cheers to Silos Brewery and Society.
Oh, Take Aim.
Take Aim. It's a great beer. It's a good IPA.
Cold IPA.
Yeah, you want to try it?
Yeah. Let me just leave me a sip in the can. Shout out to Kenny and Jeremy. But you have to have a pretty big roadmap of what you're going to do in an app, where brewing a beer is like, hey, you could potentially just throw a bunch of shit in the boil kettle, mash tun, pull some hops out, do a rough hop calculation, and you could make a beer. You can't really just slap some code into a program and make a piece of technology.
So the product that's in the App Store right now has taken 24 months to produce. And the product roadmap that I'm working on...
And that this app is Tabbi app. It's available on iPhone right now. Android launching soon.
That's a sprint. That's like a series of sprints. So Android is probably about 150 hours of development.
So there's that big of a difference too between
everything
the two.
Is broken. Well, so you can write it in different languages that correlate more, and we're boring people to death at this point. Yeah, I think if you're connecting, what was I saying? Product roadmap. I'm thinking about 2 years from now. Like, that's how far out we're planned. Like, I've got user stories and intellectual property of like tech written of what we're going to build for probably the next 14 to 18 months.
Oh wow,
So
that's big. Yeah, I'm on a 3-week rotation schedule.
well, and,
like
it's just a different business because we're, launching a minimum viable product that is commercially growing, but at the same time, we've got to think about, what's the vision for the future. Blah, blah, blah.
that beer just went up my nose a little bit. Look at that nice lacing. Oh, the camera's over there. I don't know why. Showing the monitor. That's a nice laced beer. And if anyone's wondering, yes, that is a Miller High Life.
It's pretty funny. We did, for people that can't see it, we're gonna do a tour of the whole office here. This is such a cool space. But we have these monitors now set up so that we can see ourselves, and it's tripping.
Oh, Carolina Malt. We love Carolina Malt. Certified product. Great job, guys. Let's try it.
Is this the first time you've had this beer?
I think I've had it at Silos, hanging out with old Nate down there. It's delicious.
It is good. So let's talk, dude. There's so much has happened. So much has changed for you. Let's start with you. Let's start with Magnetic South. You guys are open in Greenville at Judsonville.
Yep, opened St. Patrick's Day weekend. Got fast food. It's not fast food. Food comes out fast. Cuban-inspired menu. Same great beers. Doing a little kind of different one-offs, but mimicking a lot right now of what's coming out of Anderson, so we can can it and have lateral product. Got a couple fun collaborations and stuff coming up with some Charleston breweries, some here local breweries. Just getting some friends in to hang out and make beer right now. The push and the drive's over, so it's time to sit back, have a good time, right? Get back to what the beer community is, and hang out, drink, and make beer. So, yeah, we're open. Clemson is on the docket now. Little brew pub on the water out there. We're trying to open by October. Who knows if that'll happen?
So let's dive in a little bit.
Hopefully we have more control over the timeline there.
So let's talk about the Judson project, because you've been working on that for a year.
So we actually, if you remember from my previous podcast, we actually signed that lease the same time we signed Anderson. So we've really been working on it, I want to say almost 3 years. We toured the Judson property when the apartments weren't even done, right? They were still building those, and the place was a maze. I don't know how anyone who worked there for Milliken. So Judson Mill was old Milliken Mill. I believe it closed in the late 90s. It's a 36-acre campus, over 500,000 square foot of commercial leasable space, and then 205 apartments there now, currently. There's a great tenant mix out there. We got axe throwing behind us, a music
Shout out to
venue. Stumpy's, yep.
We're going to have
Forest on here.
Forest on here, yeah.
We got the Foundry next door, Howard and Justin, the GM. They're great. Blockhaven, which is an indoor rock climbing facility. Or I should say it's bouldering more than...
I don't even know the difference.
The only thing that I think the big difference is, like, the bouldering is they've built these massive structures that you can... no ropes. There's all these mats.
Oh, it's small. Yeah, shorter. It's not 40 feet in the air.
It's 25 foot. Well, maybe. I don't like that. I think the top of the structure they built it's got to be 20 foot.
What kind of waiver do you have to sign to?
I don't know. There is a way for that. But I mean, hell, the mats are like this thick that you fall on. It's all
fall
about
the right way.
It's all about strength, right? It's like these people hanging upside down and just crawling.
Those are amazing athletes.
Oh yeah.
The rock climbing is. You'll find out. You want to be humbled real quick. Go rock climb for a day.
Well, then someone was
like
Someone was telling me, because I was like, "There's no way I could do it." Like, right? Everyone who knows me, I'm a big guy.
It's
I'm
leg
fat,
strength,
and I love it. I love to eat food. Right. I want to eat gas station roller items. I love it.
We're doing it.
Egg rolls, I'm in. But they were like, look, if a little baby can rock climb Boulder, you can too. And
Kid's
I was
40
like,
pounds.
I was like, hold up, time out. I am no child. I got a lot of strength. There's a lot of weight here.
That kid is 40 pounds, 60 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, even a 110-pound person can boulder. But anyways, it looks like a lot of fun. They got great smoothies. There's a good coffee bar.
You are that guy. You're the guy that if I'm like, hey man, where do I want to go to lunch? Oh, you definitely want to go over here to get this specifically.
There's a
get the
couple
green
spots.
sauce, get the red sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're the guy.
Yeah. I like some weird places.
No, you're just adventurous, and you've found kind of your favorite thing at all your places. What's the Latin place?
There's a Colombian place right here near the studio. It's called Sasha's.
We should do
great.
a pop up there.
Oh, it's good.
I could just take like one camera with a mic and just.
Or we just get it and bring it right here. It's 5 minutes away.
I was gonna say just go do a podcast in the middle of their restaurant.
They would. They'd love it. A couple buddies and I, they do like a hurricane drink. It's like a hurricane. It's not like the New Orleans hurricane, like that's red dye number 40. This is like 12 different kinds of liquor up to here, and then like a splash of juice. And
It's a Long Island /
just throw everything at it you got.
train wreck. Yeah.
And they're really good. But you have 3 of them, you might be thrown up in the bushes outside.
So where did the menu come from for Magnetic South Judson?
So I would say it was originally inspired by my brother-in-law who works at a Cuban joint in New Orleans called Manolito. And I think it was post-pandemic. They had come up, evacuated because there was a hurricane. It knocked power out, and they were talking about a week without power. And my sister's like, we can't do it. Like 3 or 4 days, we can deal with it, but start talking about a week. So they came up here. While he was here, James, my brother-in-law, shout out at James Can Paint on Instagram. He's a terrific artist. Flashy at the bottom. He made Cubans, and it was like the recipe from his restaurant, like marinated, made these great beans, and it was just like, oh, this is perfect. Like, kind of light bulb pained. It was very easy once all the prep was done on the back. So kind of took that inspiration, ran with it.
You know what I appreciate about the menu there? And I eat lunch there often.
You can eat 12 things
It's super,
and still drink 26 beers.
That's what's interesting. So, you go to a place by like Southern Side, and I'm absolutely I love Southern Side. Their food is amazing. But you go there and you have like a burger and you have fries, you have brewery food, and you're so full you can't drink beer. And again, their food is delicious.
Oh, that fried chicken sandwich.
But you get a Cuban sandwich and some light tacos. Dude,
Well, we're a very carb light menu, so we wanted to be health conscious because we know the Greenville market is definitely focused on
it's by the day more and more that too.
like healthy, right?
Yeah.
So if you want to get fat with it, you can, right? You can get the pressed sandwich with 3 meats and 2 cheeses and nachos and
where's this been all my life?
I mean, just ask them for it. We'll make you whatever you want. I mean, but there is no fryer.
I didn't know
and
there was other options.
It's like, there's rice and beans is like health food, right? It's been ate for a long time, and add some proteins and veggies and you're good to go, So we kind of wanted to go with that low carb, not a lot of bread heavy, and that may change. We may throw an oven in there, probably never do anything fried, but throw an oven in there and start, I don't know. Who knows? Like, it's an endless option.
Fryers are once you start with fryers,
Fryers are horrible. Like,
Yeah,
they're just, there's grease just on the walls, and you got grease traps, and
there's so many restrictions with the food inspector too, health inspector.
I really never want to be in the fryer game.
No,
Because the people who do it, they do it good, and there's no...
it's a nightmare. I mean, I worked in QSR for a while. It's a nightmare. quick service.
We wanted fast food. So it's like, hey, what can we do fast, right? So we can make a Cuban, since everything's already prepped and laid out in the morning. We can get you a Cuban sandwich in like 3 minutes and 30 seconds. It's off the press, in the window.
It's delicious.
Go check it done. Out. You can order online.
Yeah.
We have toast, which, speaking of toast, hopefully Tabbi is integrating, and Magnetic South Greenville will be the first test for toast, which is a POS system, and the Tabbi app.
Yeah, so hopefully we can simplify the process there. I mean, we should be done with the integration with Toast here soon. So it's kind of Toast is a great point of sale, but it's kind of a gaggle without Tabbi. And we'll get into Tabbi later. We'll give the update there. But how has the opening been at Judson?
It's all right. We've done. We're now like. April, we kind of didn't do a lot of marketing. We kind of just open, get the staff trained, right, work through any bubbles. So now we're really kind of pushing. I think the biggest struggle for us has been, and even people who've come out there, say we're doing a meeting with some agency or a marketing group or anybody, that they just don't know, like, hey, we see you guys open a second location. We don't know where it is. So now the key point of our marketing direction and train of thought is going, hey, let's not only say Magnetic South, we're here at Judson Mill, but where is Judson Mill? What is Judson Mill? And who else is at Judson Mill? So, like I said earlier, it's a 36-acre campus or 26, right? It's huge. There's plenty of parking. Where a quarter mile to the baseball field, right? We're right at where
you literally get on Academy
into Easley Bridge Road, right? It's right at that changeover from Academy to 123, or it's all 123, but
So it's in a section. It's our building, and then you guys are like right over there. We're at Brandon Mill. You guys are at Judson Mill. It's a rapidly evolving part of the city. You're seeing gentrification happen in real time.
Yeah.
Right now. It's good, bad, and indifferent. No matter the opinion of that, it's happening around us. And it is crazy how many people don't know where you guys are.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing. So, we're off the road, right? It's not like this giant mill.
You can't even see it from the road, really.
No, unless you're really looking.
You need to almost get like a company to come and grade that hill away.
Yeah, we're going to use that for parking. Because we want plenty of parking. And I say we, but so I think the whole thing of our marketing scheme has changed to, let's enlighten people about this. You can come out there all day. You can come to the brewery, play games, and drink beer. You can have a date night and go axe throwing. You can come early and throw axes, drink beer, then go to a concert. You can come do your bouldering, have a workout. They do yoga, and there's a little gym in there with weights and all that. You can do that, and then you can come drink a beer,
then
throw
you can
axes,
go to Weed
and then go to a concert.
Go to Weed and Feed, have a delicious healthy lunch. Feed and Seed. Weed and Feed. Is that what I said?
One day that would be a great legal pot store. It would be the Weed and Feed. I was thinking
weed and Feed, like for my lawn, but
but Feed and Seed, and you can go grocery shopping. They got a bunch of produce. They do carry some meats and cheeses and milks, and Judd Hub's a shared office space. So if you need an office, so there is the amenities are huge.
How many of the current? There's 200 apartments there.
205, yeah.
How many? What's your customer base? How much of them are residents? Or do they even know yet?
Yeah, I'd say 5%. So we just got, because technology is great. We just launched on their app that they use to manage their apartments and their shared calendar app. So we just launched on that to show all of our events and stuff going on. And we're doing some tenant-only events, and there'll be a lot of fun things. So we're really driving towards how do we engage the whole property. And then again, in the marketing scheme, it's not just us. It's, hey, come out and all this shit is going on out there. So yeah, it'll be fun and exciting.
You guys are in a perfect corner. I mean, you and I went to a concert recently at the Foundry, and it's a perfect corner between you get your wristband, you go in, you get your ID checked, you're at the concert, and then there's like that extra door that you can flow freely and get food and beer. Because you can, obviously, the Foundry has cocktails and liquor drinks, but if you want good beer and food, you're going to go next door. If you want Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, you go to the Foundry.
And during a show, if you want to have a beer and go over there, you can do that. If you want to have some of our food, but you want a bucket of Truly or whatever, you can go over there and get that and bring it back into the brewery and sit down, hang out for your show. For us, it doesn't really matter. We want
that concept is becoming more popular,
and we want the development to work, regardless.
It's an ecosystem.
If someone needs a break to come sit down and they got to use our space to do it, so be it.
What would you call the space, the little ecosystem there that Liability's in?
So I think the proper name of the developer is Weston.
Weston,
but
they've got
our
kind of
West
a similar,
Tone.
like there's a food spot, there's a place you can get cocktails, there's a place
So it's the same kind of I think you see that multi-use development happening.
Yeah.
All over the place now. Turning these old mills. And funny story, my cousin D, his dad actually worked at the mill, at Judson Mill for Milliken. And we've seen that, right? So like I said, I think they shut down in the 90s. So there's still...
That mill was open until the 90s?
I want to say it was early 90s it shut down.
Interesting.
So maybe it was even like 96. So it started in 1912 is when it opened. And I know that because the app, that's what the app's called.
Nice.
But, so I want to say it was like the late 90s, late, whatever, somewhere in there. We've had customers even come in who have been like, man, I'm just checking this out. Like my office was down that hallway and, over there.
Cool.
So, it's still pretty cool to like, the connection is raw and there.
It's wild, man. So our office here, our studio, is in Brandon Mill, which, the concept of having a space, a large enough space, studio, I think that's the workforce of the future as I think about it. I mean, I'm building a tech company, why would I build this big, giant office when I can just have a smaller space?
Well, and COVID changed a lot of that too, right? The whole work from home attitude.
Yeah. But this mill, I guess the point that I was making is this mill is amazing. Like it's 120 years old. For what they've done with it in the last 10 years, the renovation, you walk around and it's got all the aesthetics of the old. But you think about
horror movie hallway.
It's definitely got the shining hallway. But you just look around in the history that's here and you're like, man, there were people. Yeah, there's a lot of people that used to work here. Hundreds of people.
Thousands.
Well, in this place, I think this building was
and
kind
then
of
the
condemned.
People lived around here too, right? It wasn't just...
It was mill towns, yeah.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that kind of, from the window, you can look out and see houses that are getting remodeled and renovated, and you've got the West End right there, Poe West. But it's interesting to have somebody come in and go, yeah, 30 years ago I was working here and that's where my office was.
Yeah.
And now it's a brewery or a hatchet throwing place or a bathroom.
Yeah, so it is...
Wedding venue, huge place.
Yeah. The realist is that.
How much of that building is undeveloped still?
So
there's that whole middle section.
The jetty in the Westerfeld, which is the building across from us, really, like that would be the plaza that they're working on now. It's the next building over. Man, I'd say 100,000 square foot. I mean, it's just so hard to judge. I would say easily 150,000 square foot.
So this is a terrible. Nobody's going to be able to recognize this, but so you've got this side.
You could just pop up a map.
I could pop up
Yep.
a map. I have an aerial shot too.
Yeah, I mean,
But
if you
just
pop
like
that up, everyone would know.
The Feed and Seed, the Foundry, Magnetic South.
Yeah, so that building is called the warehouse. So if you were standing in our parking lot, the warehouse like comes like this,
Okay.
right? And then our building like kind of splits that and then comes down.
So there's this whole other building over here.
And then there's a courtyard, and then this other building comes.
That's, like,
and then the
undone.
apartments are back here
No,
that connect.
That's what I'm
everything.
saying. That front building that's like the biggest
Yeah.
hasn't even been touched.
No, that, and I'd say it's probably 150,000 square foot.
It just. Can we get a tour of that?
Oh, dude, it's cool. It's got like the old wood floors that you could drive a forklift on. You know, like
Yeah, no.
I don't know if I'd do it now, but
I'm gonna.
it was
I mean,
definitely.
how do we get a tour of that?
We'll walk over there.
Okay. All right. Let's do that.
But yeah, it's cool.
What is it about Miller High Life?
You want to come to Georgia?
Georgia's
Okay,
always
Georgia's coming.
We're eventually going to get Georgia a mic and a camera, and just put her in the little producer box.
Well,
producer.
it's like the
like
Stern
the Always
show
Sunny.
where they
Yeah.
set them up and they were like started separating everyone. So
Just put her in the closet.
yeah, just cut a little glass window out,
What is it?
and she could hit the button that's like, Georgia, make it sound like rain.
I have that. Hold on. I can do that over here. Let's do that. We're still getting some stuff set up in our studio, but what is it about Miller High Life? I feel like it's the beer choice of all brewers for like the everyday domestic. Every brewer I know, which is at this point quite a few, you all drink Miller Lite.
Miller High Life.
Miller
Whoa.
High Life.
Yeah.
And I've kind of gotten to where it's like one of my favorite beers.
So I think we just we drink good beer a lot.
Miller High Life is a solid beer.
And I'm not saying it's good beer, but we call it like the shitty beer, right? If we
Defining
want a
a
shitty
good beer is like trying to define a good wine. It has nothing to do with price or class, or it's just
and this is like the shitty beer class. Like if I'm like, hey, I just want a shitty beer, it means I want to go to a dive bar and either drink a Coors Banquet in a stubby bottle or a High Life.
Did you ever drink Mickey's with the riddle? I always loved the riddles on the top, but I'm a dork.
See, I'm a Bush Light too. Like I love a Bush Light.
But you know the screw off caps of
Yeah.
the Mickey's? They have 3 little images or 2 little images, and it's always a riddle. I've sat at a bar and like spent 20 minutes trying to figure the riddle out before.
Yeah, I don't know if I've had a Mickey's.
We're gonna do a Mickey's episode. We're also gonna.
I would love a Mickey's.
We're also gonna do those beers that we bought at Barley's
Oh,
from the cellar.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Josh is gonna come on with us. We're gonna do 6.
A decompression of
The cellar. I mean, he's got beers in there that were 15, 20 years old.
what Barley's was and is, and what the legacy it will live on to be. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people had their first craft beer there at Barley's.
It's wild to see the comments.
And isn't he overseas right now?
I'm not sure. I think
Well,
he-
when
I
we
think
saw
he's-
him
yeah, I
a
think
couple
he's gonna-
weeks,
I think
wasn't
he's gonna
he-
take a trip back to Australia?
Getting knighted.
Yeah,
We
that's
can
true.
definitely talk about that on his
That's true. That's a big deal.
podcast.
Josh is such a cool guy.
Not knighted by like the princess or anything, but it was knighted by the.
like knighted by.
It was the beer community night, right?
Yeah.
Like a Belgian
Yeah.
beer embassy. I know he was talking about that trip, which was huge. So
It's interesting to be around, even like you and he together. It's interesting for me as a beer novice. You guys have so much knowledge. I mean, you're a chemist in a sense.
no.
No. It's
I'm
really,
I just push the broom.
yeah.
I just push the
You're
broom. I
good-
mop the floor.
You're good at that
No,
persona,
no,
but you're really the kind of the brain behind the engine that's making the recipes. And you just experience. But it's interesting to see you and Josh together. Wealth of experience and knowledge in the beer community, and there's so much to know. There's so much history and so much. It's cool.
Well, exciting news. I'm getting the El Camino back this week. I don't know why that just popped in my head because we call it the El Camino.
Tell me about the El Camino.
Look, so it's had some problems. Jenny hates this thing. So we got it. It's got
Where did this all start?
I needed a pickup truck.
Okay.
You can't buy a pickup truck.
You can buy them. They're just really expensive right now.
Yeah, and so I don't have pickup truck money. Friend's dad was selling this El Camino, and it's the Dale Earnhardt Jr. or Dale Earnhardt Edition. So we call it the Ale Camino. We
Ale.
actually just named it.
Ale.
Yeah, like ALE.
I got you.
We just named a beer after it.
That's true. Are you going to wrap it?
You know, I enjoy it being brown on brown. Jenny hates it.
Can Tabby wrap it?
Yeah, half can be Tabby, half can be the brewery.
Let's do that.
I mean, that makes it nice. But, I'm just ready to have it back. I'm ready to just cruise. We could do a whole episode just cruising at gas stations in the El Camino.
Yeah, let's do that. I think that's where...
Do we have GoPros?
We have GoPros.
Oh, yeah.
I'm such a nerd. I have so much of that stuff. But we just need to start shooting content.
Oh, it'll be good. No, I think all this content that we're going to generate for y'all the next 6 months is going to be pretty fun, exciting.
I think the biggest thing is like realizing that you just got to turn the cameras on and live your life. Just, like we have a good time. No,
I mean, we can turn the cameras on, but they got to be turned off at some point. This ain't about to be Big Brother or whatever.
No, not like that. But
real world road rules.
Like
challenge.
we need to carry when you and I go out and hang out with our friends. We just need to have a camera there because it's good, wholesome fun.
I mean,
just hanging out with
I
cool
do follow
people.
Some vloggers, but I don't know if I'm in for that.
I don't know if we're.
It's a lot of work.
We're not vlogging, but we're just documenting.
We're not jogging either.
We're documenting the journey of like we're doing some crazy stuff. Opening
fun
businesses.
Stuff. We're doing fun stuff.
Yeah. No, fun stuff. Like opening businesses and building networks in the community. And ultimately, the goal is to be able to give back to the community too as we grow.
And talk to some cool people in the community. I mean, I think that's why you started a lot of this is the past episodes. There's been some huge restaurateurs and community members and news anchors and I think that's an important thing to keep rolling with too, is to just talk to these people, figure out the industry, let them tell their story. I think there's something to be said about all that, but I think organic content is something that whatever century, are we in the 21st century? Whatever this century we're in just requires, right? Like people want real, they want to be able to feel a connection and I think that's something we can bring to the table.
Yeah, that's ultimately what Tabby is. Tabby started in a place of like meeting the community around you and being connecting. I watched a video with Grant Cardone, a famous, entrepreneur, real estate mogul. And he was in the beginning of his business.
Who just buys airplanes? Like, I got to spend $127 million so I don't have to pay taxes. Buy me that jet.
That guy's a billionaire. So.
Oh, yeah. I like Grant. He's good.
But he said the way he started creating content was he hired this guy to create content, and the guy sat in an office for like 4 days. And the guy kept coming in like, hey, Grant, we need to discuss content. We need to discuss what we're going to do. We need to do this. And finally he goes, hey, tell that content kid to come in here. He goes, roll the fucking camera. I am the content. Like just what we're doing on a daily basis in the business is kind of content.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's not that many people that are interested in it today because they don't know about it. But eventually,
there's a lot of beer drank. No, there isn't. There's a lot of floors mopped. There's a squeegee in my hand. I pull up my pants about 46 times a day because I don't have a butt. So they just slide down. I'm gonna do
a montage of just Cuzzin pulling his pants up in all different directions.
And I love to eat.
You know what I want to do? I want to do a...
That's the bad thing I think about being at Judson Mill is the access to good food.
It's right there.
Right there. So like I was never a breakfast person. And now I eat breakfast every morning.
You know what the problem is though? Your food is the healthiest in the building. And you don't always... Once you're there and you own it, you don't want to eat it every day.
No, the tacos used to be so good. I just now I eat them and I'm like, they're good
because they're healthy. It's meat and low carb.
And I'm just tired of eating them.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You get tired of eating your own food, so you're like,
I go to the feed and see it a lot. the Josh is over there. They're making fresh biscuits every morning, like handmade grandma's recipe biscuits. So now I eat every morning I'm there, I eat a biscuit every morning. I don't need to eat a biscuit every morning, but they're just so good. The biscuits are so, you get that one bite of salty crunch, you know. Yeah.
This is fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun.
This is going to be a lot of fun.
How does my mic level if I lean back here?
Pretty bad. We're gonna get you a boom.
I need a boom. This is such a like.
But then I have to buy 4.
Are you comfortable sitting up that close?
Yes, I've broken my back.
Oh,
So
how'd you break your back?
jumping off a cliff into a leaf pile of about 40 feet.
Were you going into a pond and you hit a leaf pile, or
It was a giant leaf pile.
40 foot?
I jumped off the same cliff like 3 times that day. It was survivable. Like we as a group had been doing it.
Into a leaf pile.
I mean, Ben Oakley was there actually when I broke my back. I was 18.
Hey, no, that was his last name. Does he own Oakley sunglasses?
No, he doesn't.
He definitely have a jet by then.
Ben and I have been friends since I was 18.
You broke your back twice? You broke it twice?
Twice, yeah. There was a second injury that happened, but it was really like a re-break, kind of.
How long did it take you to? So I knew one other person who broke their back. They fell through a 2-story roof. They were working on a roof, fell through, broke their back. I think they were out for like 9 months.
I would say functionally walking. I was also 19 and in great shape.
So like you're bouncing back fast.
I was in
then.
great shape.
You get the flu or anything like that, you're 19, you're back.
I was an athlete too. And so I would say, but long-term recovery, it took a year. Yeah, like it took a year, flexibility, movement, everything. But I'm fortunate that I live fairly pain-free, but I have to sit up straight. My truck, in my vehicle, I have my seat very goofy. Like people that, my legs are really long, but people get in my truck, they're like, whoa, bro, like lean back. But it's what it is. I'm going to get you a boom though.
I'll just do it like this.
It's so much noise. But you live your life, man. You can hear it. That's why we have the headphones.
I know I can hear it.
We fully derailed now.
But this is the best whole part of it. Like, hold on. I could do wireless headphones too. This cord gets in the way.
I'm going to get you a wireless mic.
I don't need a wireless mic because I'm not wearing a headset. I don't mind holding the mic like this either because I'm comfortable.
Hold on. Let's go.
No, it doesn't. It's not good.
Try it.
No, I did.
Take it off.
I got one ear out. That's why. The one ear out definitely works for me.
You like being able to hear it.
I like to hear it, but then I like the organic sound of the room too because there is some nice organicness here. You're just not hip like me.
I'm not hip, man.
I'm not hip either. I don't know who we're fooling here.
Dude. We're the same age, but we're old. 34?
36? 88? I was born in 88.
89.
Math. Yeah, okay. So 35 then. No, it's all good. I mean, I love being old. There's
Old soul.
I was watching another podcast or something on social media. You can actually get like a DNA or a swab test done, and it'll tell you your like DNA age.
I don't need it.
So like you have like your age as a number,
my doctor
and then they
does
like
my blood
take
work
your
and tells me
bloodline, and they're like, "Hey, you're really
my
90.
My doctor does my blood work and says, "Yeah, dude, you're old."
You do blood work
Every 6 months. What?
I don't think I've been to the doctor in 4 years. I went to the doctor the first time during COVID just to get a COVID.
So with
test.
all the crazy stuff that goes on in the world today, or like with you just hear about people that are like, oh, he was 45 and he had cancer. Early detection is the biggest thing. And I'm not by any means a health bulletin, but I think go to the doctor. If you have health insurance, go to the doctor and just do the annual checkup, have the blood work, And they're going to go, hey, man, you need some more B vitamin. You need a little more exercise in your life.
That's where we ain't going. We out. We out.
Why, though? Why? I mean,
He's gonna be like,
you just
"Hey,
got
look,
married.
fatty,
you
you're
just got
obese."
married. You've got a very successful business future. Like,
I got a lot of life insurance.
yeah, I have a life insurance and medical insurance and all the D&O insurance, Key-Man
I don't
policy.
have very good medical. I think that's the problem. Is my medical? I'm on free, health place, marketplace, whatever.
So I grew up very much in the mindset of like, I don't need to go to the doctor. And,
No, I went to the doctor. Maybe that's the difference. I went to the doctor a lot as a kid.
well, so I didn't, when I was in the Army, they like made me, they do the like doctor thing.
Oh, yeah.
You have to get blood work. You do the annual physical. And so after I got out of the military, I didn't go get a physical for like 5 years. And I was like, I don't need that. It's fine. I'm fine. And I started like, I just felt weird. I just felt like I didn't feel as good as I used to feel. So I started to go, and it's just optimization. You go for a free appointment. It's a $30 copay. They do blood work. And at the end of it, they come back and go, hey, like this, and this is way off. You take this free, vitamin D supplement, vitamin B
You're
supplement.
saying they're free a lot when you're talking about a doctor. I've never been to the doctor for free.
We pay health insurance, which is like a prepay in a sense. And then it's $30, I think, to go to my doctor.
Yeah, I probably should look at it. It's one of those things. I'm just blaming on everything else. I can make a lot of excuses. I don't got time. I don't got time to go to the doctor.
You don't have time not to go to the doctor.
I mean,
That's the only thing that adds time to your plate is going to the doctor.
So my wife's sister-in-law,
Should we share this?
yeah, okay. She, passed away from colon cancer. And it's one of those things, too. Probably early detection could have helped.
There's too much science out there now.
There
not
is.
do it.
I mean, there's
It's blood work, man.
blood work. I mean, a lot of, I don't want to say a lot, but there's a lot of definitely diseases, whether it's cancer or not, that can be, with the right treatment plan, held at bay, cured, whatever. And
Every single human on Earth right now is dying.
I'm thinking about
By the
40% there.
We're dying by the day.
I've
And that's okay. That's part of
accepted
life.
it. I'm ready for it. I mean, I'm not like saying I'm ready to die
That's
today.
what I'm saying. I'm like I've
I'm ready to
mentally
see what
processed.
happens.
I've mentally
I wanna
processed.
know.
I've processed that I'm going to die. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. I mean, but
But that's what I'm curious about.
well, no, like
And not to like deep dive into that, but
I mean, we can do that on a different episode. We're like out of time right now. So actually, let's cut it right there, and we'll do another episode about that. We'll pick up the next episode that you and I do right there.
the problem is that I think we have to do an episode before to get like liquid up
Okay.
to then
Yeah.
like if okay,
We can literally do it right
we can cut
now.
it. We can cut it there. But
No,
remember,
cheers. Cheers.